Hello, students. Good morning, all of you. Today, I, Rabindra Mohan Misra from Sri Jagdamba Sanskrit College, Bathu, am taking class of Shastri first. Yesterday and day before yesterday, we have seen regarding the poem Death Be Not Proud. Today, we see P.V. Shelley as a romantic poet. P.V. Shelley is one of the most popular English romantic poets and is regarded as a great lyrical poet in English language. P.V. Shelley, English romantic poet whose passionate search for personal love and social justice was gradually channeled from overt actions into poems that ranks with the greatest in English language. Shelley comes in the age of romanticism, and also there is one of the features of this age is that treatment to nature. Shelley write, writes a poem, and in that he links nature with love. Love for nature is one of the key notes of his poetry. Shelley, in his poem, nature is love for him. He was very crucial and we may say very conscious about the presentation, the beauty of nature. Shelley harbored highly radical social, political, and many other setting against the existing social norms. Therefore, he did not become popular during his lifetime. Shelley was a close friend of many eminent writers and poets. However, the poetry of Shelley gained better recognition following his death. In 1811, Shelley eloped with Harriet Westbrook to Edinburgh, but their marriage collapsed soon and he then eloped with Mary Godwin. The travel to Germany, Switzerland, and France in course of this, he earned much more experience from that surroundings. And on their return to London, Shelley wrote Alastair, a first poem which brought him popularity and recognition. Later on, they went to Italy where he wrote the sonnet Ozymandias and translated Plato's Symposium on July 1822. Shelley drowned in a sailing boat accident. However, many believe that his death was not accidental, instead a suicide because he was disheartened at that time. Thus far, Shelley's literary career had been politically oriented. The best known classic poems of Shelley include Ode to the West Wind, Ozymandias, Music to a Skylark, The Cloud, The Mask of Anarchy, and When Soft Voice Die. There are also other major works which include visionary and long poems like Alastair, Queen Maeve, Adonais, The Triumph of Life, The Revolt of Islam. His visionary poetry drama include Prometheus Unbound and The Shansi. Queen Maeve, the early poems first published in 1964 at the Ecladi notebook, Leon and Santha, and most of his prose works were devoted to reforming society. But the personal lyrics voice the concerns of an idealistic reformer who is disappointed or persecuted by an unrespective society. But in Italy, far from the daily irritations of British politics, Shelley depended his understanding of art and literature and unable to reshape the world to conform to his vision. He concentrated on embodying his ideals within his poems. His aim became, as he wrote in Ode to the West Wind, to make his verse essays and sparks as from an unextinguished heart, thereby transforming subsequent generations and through them the world. Later, as he became estranged from Mary Shelley, he portrayed even love in terms of aspiration rather than fulfillment. Shelley writes how visions arising from the beautiful landscape scene from a hill near east and revived him from despair of hope for the political regeneration of Italy. Shelley continued in many poems the tragedy on the Elizabethan model based on a case of incestuous rape and parricide in 16th century Rome. He completed this during the summer. His poem Prometheus Unbound, which was the keynote of Shelley's poetic achievement, was written after he had been chastened by sad reality, but before he began to fear that he had failed to reach an audience. Published with it were some of the poet's finest and most hopeful short poems, including Ode to Liberty, Ode to the West Wind, The Cloud, and To a Skylark. Shelley reasserted his uncompromising idealism. His essay, A Defense of Poetry, eloquently declares that the poet creates human value and imagination, imagines the forms and that shape the social order. Thus, each mind recreates its own private universe, and poets are acknowledged legislators of the world. The careful study of Shelley's publications and manuscripts has since elucidate, elucidated his deep learning, clear thought, and subtle artistry. Shelley was a passionate idealist and consummate artist who, while developing rational themes within traditional poetic forms, stretched language to its limits in articulating both personal desire and social altruism. Next, tomorrow we meet in the next class. Till have a nice day.